What band has done more for you emotionally than any other? Soundgarden. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Talking Heads. It was the only thing that made sense to me growing up. Edit. I just woke up and I'm really hungover. I don't know what silver does cause I've never had a post get that or gold, but thanks for the gesture. Everyone go listen to Clean Break from the live album. The name of this band is Talking Heads. Modest Mouse. Talking garbage about a pretty sunset and ocean breeze. Salty basically hooked me out of the existential sadness mode that I was in for about a year. David Bowie. As an insecure teenager who really just wanted to change himself, by the time I got into Bowie, the shape-shifting nature of musical career and narrative of his lyrics really just stood out to me and called out to me. I'm just so disappointed that I didn't get very much into him until after he died. Sigur Rós. Lord Huron steals me from anything I'm doing or feeling at the moment and forces me back into a serene, somewhat somber mindset. No other music makes me feel the way their songs do. The XX. When I first heard Intro, I was mesmerized. At some point I was having a rough time and came across Sunset, and that song took me for a wild ride. Their catalog helped me come to terms with a lot that was going on in my life. Fleetwood Mac was there for me through the end of my first breakup. It was nasty and the worst time for me emotionally, and their music is still so relevant and powerful, and no artist or group could make me feel less alone than they did. I used to listen to them way more often. I don't now because my music tastes have expanded over the past few years, but every time I do listen to them it feels like home. Edit. Wow. I wasn't expecting this to blow up overnight. Thank you kind human for my first silver. Edit 2, a gold too. Thank you as well. I would love to converse more with people, but I posted this at around 1 a.m. my time and I have to work. A Tribe Called Quest. The Strokes. My high school marching band. A Perfect Circle. Edit. I'm completely blown away by the fandom here. I wasn't expecting this to find so many kindred spirits. Reading the comments has been wonderful. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. One of my dad's favorites became one of mine when I was young. I can just sit and listen and you can just feel something in Tom's voice. Placebo. Broke through the numbness after my fiancé died, been with me ever since. Depeche Mode. Whether you're in a dark depressed or dark kinky mood, they got you. Pink Floyd. Definitely, multiple songs for each mood and occasion. Edit. Thanks so much for the gold and silver as well as the many people who shared their connection to the band. I am truly happy that their music holds such a special place in so many of your hearts. Daughter, if you haven't indulged, do yourself a favor and indulge. Pearl Jam. Close second is Audioslave and close third is Soundgarden. Sounds to fit any mood, thoughtful lyrics, perfect band chemistry, excellent guitar solos. What more do you need? Edit. There are also active subs for all three bands, R. Pearl Jam, R. Audioslave, R. Soundgarden. Gorillaz. Their songs helped me through some seriously tough garbage. Bon Iver. Brand New, and Taking Back Sunday. The best irony is how they formed. Jesse Lacey of Brand New played bass, WTBS in high school until the guitarist took his girlfriend. Brand New wrote 70 times 7 as a response. Taking Back Sunday wrote There Is No I in Team as a response back. Tons of deeply emo garbage in here. Seen them both plenty of times. BN2X, TBS4X, absolutely brought down the fluffing house at every concert. 9 Inch Nails. Led Zeppelin. Their range of emotion and style is like no other. During a depressing summer I listened to Since I've Been Loving You over and over. City and Color. I wanna say I was 11? 12? Years old when I found out about him. I'm turning 24 in a bit. He saved my life on more than one occasion. His music was always there for me when I felt like no one else was. I feel like I grew up with him as well. His older stuff is super sad. As I grew up and got older, his music changed, as did I. Every time I listen, I get small flashbacks of memories of when I was just a teenager. Death Cab for Cutie. Edit. What, 2 gold? Thanks friends. I enjoy seeing all the love for them here. DCFC has seen me through some really dark times over the past 15-ish years. They will always have a special place in my heart. Currently listening to I Dreamt We Spoke Again and dancing around the living room with my daughter in between waffle bites. Life is good. Not a band, but Hans Zimmer. Tame Impala. I know it's popular acid music and all that, but many of their lyrics hit me really hard. For me, there's something about their music that makes me feel hauntingly human. I was fortunate to see one of their recent shows and it was a moving experience. Their music will always have a place in my heart. Paul Simon, though his entire career, ups, downs, and in-betweens, from a connection I have with my dad and a select number of people with whom I share my love for his particular style of folk pop world beat, ever-evolving music, to the highlights of a pretty lousy 2016 when I saw him perform at the Hollywood Bowl and sang along with almost every song. I've had some amazing highs and some gut-wrenching lows listening to Paul Simon, and Simon and Garfunkel will always remind me of when I played Morrowind while listening to the Old Friends Anthology 3-disc back in 2002. Graceland is one of the earliest tapes I remember listening to in the family car, and Boy in the Bubble and Call Me All From are two of my go-to karaoke songs. Me life has been enriched by Paul Simon, and I don't think I can ever thank him enough for the music. The Cranberries. I was so devastated when Dolores O'Riordan died. I still am. Edit. Wow. My inbox is crazy right now. Thanks everyone for your stories and shared sentiments. I upvoted every one of you, and listened to this because it's fantastic. The Killers. Either Interpol or The National. Both were the soundtrack of my teens. I still listen to Turn on the Bright Lights and Alligator in their entirety regularly. Edit. I feel I've seriously fluffed up by neglecting to mention Broken Social Scene and their albums You Forgot It in People, Feel Good Lost, and Broken Social Scene. Bayside. They've gotten me through every heartbreak, suicidal thought, and loss of loved ones. They have a song for every defining moment in life, good and bad. System of a Down. Nirvana. I was 15 when I first heard them, but I remember how much that day changed my life. We had a half day at school and I decided to head home and just watch TV all day. I was flipping through channels and there was nothing really on until I came upon MTV. It was the 10th anniversary of Kurt's suicide and they were playing all Nirvana stuff all day. I decided to watch that and became really interested in his life and their music. I recorded a bunch of stuff like their unplugged performance and would watch it over and over again. Then I started downloading their music on Kazaa and was falling in love with their style. I was also fascinated with Kurt and started reading more about him. Learned about some of his favorite bands and discovered so much music that I still love to this day. Bands like the Pixies, Black Flag, Sonic Youth, Dinosaur Jr., The Jesus Lizard, etc. Nirvana introduced me to punk rock and the 80s indie scene, which in turn lead me to discover so many other modern bands influenced by those types of bands. All of that music I discovered along with the music I started making myself with my band helped me through some really tough and self-destructive times in my teenage years. We did a cover of Oh, The Guilt that was especially therapeutic for me to just be able to scream at the top of my lungs and deal with all this anger and sadness I had inside of me. It's funny for me to think that it might have never happened if I had not come home early from school. Nirvana and Radiohead for sure. Frightened Rabbit. The Smiths. 1. Rise Against, they're everything to me. Try to be more environmentally friendly and became a vegetarian because of them. 2. Yellowcard, helped me out with depression in high school. The Mountain Goats. Paramore. I went through some tough times and felt really lonely for a long period of time, but listening to their song just made me feel better. Not coincidentally, my favorite song by them is Last Hope. Blink-182, the soundtrack to my childhood. The Pixies and Fiddlary. Never listened to indie, but I got introduced to these bands at a very low point in my life and their music really hit me hard. Bright Eyes. Cage the Elephant. Alice in Chains. I'm sorry for being so emo, but My Chemical Romance. I had a mild emo phase back in high school and their songs helped me so much through puberty. They have such a special place in my heart and I can't just casually hear their songs anymore because it gives me so many kinds of feelings, mostly good but also very nostalgic, and they give me the shivers. Edit. Holy garbage guys, thank you for the awards. Back in high school I used to be read to filth for liking emo music, so it's great to know many others feel the same as I do. Thank you so much. Janis Joplin sang with her whole darned heart. Really touched me when I was a tortured teen. We Came as Romans, their music helped me get out of one of my worst depressive episodes. Rage Against the Machine. The Smashing Pumpkins. Anyone said Deftones yet? Nobody's gonna see this, but Arctic Monkeys have been there for me since the beginning. I swear they have a song for every mood or feeling you could possibly have. Edit. I can't thank you guys enough for the gold. This was just coming from one fan, but I'm so glad to see how many more of you guys are out there. Foster the People or the Police. Billy Joel and Jimi Hendrix. Billy just because he conveys so much emotion through his storytelling and instrumentation. Hendrix because him just noodling around and letting you hear his souls through the guitar has done wonders for my playing and gives me insight to how to extend yourself. Incubus, I can attribute each album since Fungus Among Us to a different part of my life. Beach House has helped me through so many breakups, their lyrics really help with things like this and it's probably the most nostalgic music to ever be recorded.